So good morning. Unfortunately, neither of you are able to make class today. Dave is experiencing some heart issues and going to his cardiologist, and Bill is experiencing a serious cold and upper respiratory infection. So sorry neither of you could be here. Dave had asked for, and I was planning to do, focus on the form today. So what I'm going to do is go through the form posture by posture, talking about detail. I'll do it both sideways and facing you, and I'll do a flow at some point, so you can probably finally so you can also have that to refer to, and hopefully this will help you in progressing a little further with the form itself. This is a very short form, only 8 postures, so shouldn't be too difficult. So, one of the things to remember is that you always want to start with just standing, and you may want to stand for a significant amount of time to really allow yourself to land and be present, fully present, and to allow the energy to tell you when to move. Obviously, this being an instructional piece, I'm not going to stand for a long time, but it could be a few seconds, it could be quite a few minutes. You might play with that. Also, it begins always with stepping out. So here we'll step out with our right foot because it's morning. So we have spiraling down into the left leg, which pushes the right leg out, and then we rotate, rising through a curve back to center. And then continue on to the right foot, rotate left, turning the left foot out, shift on to it, and rotate first left and then right to step forward into your bow stance. And you always want to make sure you have adequate width, of course. Now as we go into Pung, ward off, one of the things here is that you don't want to just go straight forward or straight up. You want to have a curve to that movement because you need more length. That curve is longer than either this or this. So you have more time to do the posture. So the rotating and sinking is raising the arms and rotating them up. And then as you continue, the right hand comes up, facing the throat. The left hand connects to the energy of the right and pulls back slightly. So you have a curve coming up and complete. Now as you go into rollback, Lu, you're going to rotate to the right and sit back. And you are continuing to twist outward at this point, and then rotate, twisting inward. And there's no shift in that part. You've already done the shift back. So from here, it's rotate and shift back, twisting out, rotate left, twisting in, and then we go into push downward. And this is, in some ways, the hardest of the postures. You're going to turn, and you're turning the right leg as you do that. Now the important thing is that here we have two push downwards. And in order to accomplish that here, you have to be able to get two cycles of twist in and twist out. So you have twist in as you're turning, and you're going to again have that slightly curving movement forward. So you have a push down with the back of the hands, a twist in, and a push down with the palm of the hands. So this movement too, like ward off right, has a curve in it to give you a little more length in there. So as you rotate here, you're bending and twisting in, extend and twist out, twist in, twist out. So it goes in, out, in, out. And then you're going to shift forward and rotate right, drawing that left foot in, and then rotate left, placing it to the corner. And here, that rotation to the left positions the right arm with the fingers up behind the left forearm, and they are twisted in. And then you go forward to your bow stance and a twist step and twist out. Out. This is not push way out, obviously. So this is a kind of a little difficult movement. So you go forward and twist in further, shift and twist out. And that's press forward, G. And then you're going to shift forward, which separates the arms. It doesn't turn them, it separates them. You rotate right a little, drawing that right foot in. You keep turning right, twisting in, and step forward with the left, and then rotate and shift forward, expanding outward into shoulder. Cow. So the difficult thing here is that here you're dealing on the angle to the left. When you go to shoulder, you're heading straight ahead. So you shift, rotate, keep rotating and twisting in, step, and twist out. And then we go into pull down, needle at C bottom. And we shift forward, reset that right foot. And it has to turn in a little because now you want a very shallow angle. And then you come back onto it, turning left and connecting the right index and middle finger into that little hollow in the right wrist. And then you circle up. And the counterintuitive thing here is that's a continuing of the bend in and twisting in of this movement. And the twisting out occurs as you go down and complete. So this is kind of tricky, because that right foot here is turned out at least a 45-degree angle in shoulder. And here you're beginning to go forward, beginning to make, extend those two fingers, and everything is beginning to twist in, believe it or not. You have to think of in, whoops, in, out, out. Now, one of the things we haven't talked about, and I'm not going to try to go into it strongly here, but there is a bend and extend of the back, the spine, through every movement. So one of the things is that here your spine is extended. Here you're beginning to go into bend the bow. And you continue bending the bow, and now you shoot the arrow. Don't know if you can see that, but that needs eventually to be in there. We'll talk about that another time. And then making sure that you round the corners between each of the movements is also pretty important. And this is one of the ones that's a little hard to round the corner if you don't think about it. So you come down to here, you have to let this round as you turn right and step left, and shift forward, and you're extending as you do that. So this is again one that's a little hard to see because this bend in is pretty small and the extend out is small. It's coming from the spine through the scapula and shoulder and into the elbow. The other hand is as you go from this position is bending and twisting in and then twisting out. So it's sending the energy of the right through the left elbow. So you're here and step, shift, and that's elbow. And the final one, split, or single whip. You're going to shift onto that left foot and rotate in. That twists and bends everything in. Step forward, and then you have a rotate and shift forward, and then just continue rotating to a split. And then you rotate and shift back, and you are ready to begin again into ward off right. So there's a lot of detail. One of the things to remember is, as I mentioned, that you always want to round all the corners. Master Joe used to really yell at us in learning the Yang style form. I remember him yelling out, "Round your corners!" So that's really important, because when you don't round your corners, then the energy gets interrupted, at least slowed, if not stopped. So rounding the corners is really important. One of the other things is that those pieces that we have been working on in the Gstes are being applied here. The bend and extend, the twisting in and twisting out, and really in particular the one that we have perhaps the most difficulty with is lengthening in and out. And those all need to be present all the time. We're going from one to the other. They represent the yin and yang portions of each posture. So there's a lot, even in just 8 postures. was a lot more in 108, to say the least. So, I'm going to do the form again, trying to be clear about it facing the camera, and I'll try to fit it in before parts of me disappear. I have to get rid of the cat toy. So standing, rotating. Notice that as soon as I begin to move, my arms are twisting in and step and twisting out and continuing on to the right and turn. Stepping forward and curving up into ward off right, and then continuing out and in roll back, and then in as you rotate, out, in, out. Shift on to the right and step. That positions the arms. Shift forward, bending and twisting in, and then twist out. Shift forward, reset that right foot, continuing to rotate right, twisting in, and then twisting out into shoulder. Shift forward, bending in and in and in. That left foot adjusting as you go up and then down, out. Extending and twisting out, lengthening out. Rounding the corners, step, shift to elbow, continue on to the left, step forward, rotate and shift forward, and just rotate to complete. And notice that when you go into the next one, that you round that corner by a little bit to the right and back to the left, and you're ready to start over. So, as you practice this for the next couple of weeks, I'm hoping that maybe you'll write your questions down so you don't lose them, but see what you can do with this. I'd be very interested, and certainly hoping that you will both feel better soon. And I'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Hopefully both healthy. Thank you.